Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. We are here today to talk about a really cool project that's been happening on the Arcade Project forums. We're going to be talking about new ways to play an old Sega Naomi game that's been kind of locked into arcade obscurity. We're talking about, of course, the Super Monkey Ball setup for the Naomi. Let's check it out. Alright, in 2001, Monkey Ball came out for the Sega Naomi Arcade Hardware platform. And it's a really great game, but what makes it incredibly unique is actually the controller that is used to play the game. It's this very unique banana handle on a Sega panel that was originally installed on the actual cab. Now, because of this unique control panel, finding an actual Monkey Ball setup to play at home has been incredibly difficult. So luckily we're at a time now where fans of the game as well as the hardware are actually starting to recreate not only the banana handles but also some other components that are actually needed to play this really awesome game at home. Alright, so here was my current setup. I'm using a Reproduction Alberto panel as well as a Gundam Joystick, which we're going to get into a little bit later, but also a 3D printed banana supplied by Mirko and Zed on the Arcade Project forums. I have to say, Alberto does such a fantastic job with these panels. They're so perfect, they feel better than the original panels that came from Sega. Alright, so here we can see my 3D printed banana handle that I did here on my home printer. Gets the job done, but you can see a lot of the actual print lines in the quality of the banana itself. So because of that, we actually got an upgrade from Zed and Mirko on their printed bananas. Alright, so here we can check out the banana that was supplied by Zed and Mirko. As you can see, it's a fully painted and printed banana, really solid. Also comes with all the hardware that you're going to need to install this onto the actual Gundam stick. So looking at my printed banana, you can see it's actually done in two pieces versus theirs, which is completely solid and painted. It actually looks really close to the original banana that Sega sent out. Here you can see the mounting holes where that hole in the bottom is going to slide onto the shaft of the joystick, as well as on the sides there's those two holes that allow the chamfered screws to kind of grab onto the actual shaft of the joystick itself. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and remove this old guy and get this new solid one-piece banana installed onto the stick. Alright, to start we're going to go ahead and pull down our little rubber boot here to expose the two screws that go into the side of the banana that actually allow it to screw into the shaft of the joystick. Alright, so once both screws are removed, we can simply slide the banana off of the Gundam stick and get prepared to install the new one. Here's a quick comparison of my printed one that's been in use for a couple weeks versus the brand new Mirko one. You can see the quality difference as well as the paint applications here. Alright, so here's our new chamfered screws to go into the shaft. We'll go ahead and put the banana directly onto the Gundam stick shaft itself, down to that middle hole is what I like to use. And then we're going to go ahead and take these new screws, put them in the sides, and then we can go ahead and lift that rubber boot back over the base of the new banana. Alright, so our new screws are in. We'll go ahead and lift this little boot up over the base of that banana. It actually kind of hides the screws themselves, so you can't really mess with the screws while they're in there. You can lift the skirt up a little bit just like that, and now you can see the full range of motion with that new solid one-piece banana. Really makes it look not only a lot better, it just looks like it's an OEM part. Now, in addition to a new banana, I'm also going to be installing new bolts around the base of the banana itself, because mine are kind of gross and dirty. We're going to go ahead and swap those out and put in some nice brand new anodized ones. Alright, here we can see our nice new shiny hardware installed in the boot here. Looking really good. Banana is looking amazing here in the Alberto panel. So let's go ahead and check out the underside and what actually kind of makes this entire thing work. Alright, so to start, what we're using as our joystick is actually a Sega Gundam arcade joystick. So basically what we're doing is we're picking up these sticks and we're actually removing all of the top. So all of that purple that you see comes off, and you can see that bottom part is the rubber boot as well as the base and the joystick itself that we're actually using. So we fully disassemble this, and then our banana is actually what I just installed on the top of this actual joystick. So we can actually use this to feed into an op amp that allows the Naomi to recognize the movements, much like it did on the actual hardware itself. Okay, so what we have here is a Reproduction op amp, OP amp. This actually takes the inputs from the joystick and kind of amplifies it, and then sends it out of the other side into our either Sega I/O or our Capcom I/O. You are going to need some harnesses, which we're going to take a look at next, but this is actually what kind of allows the entire thing to work. So you actually can use the joystick without this, but the original hardware itself did come with this exact op amp that Dragon Minded has reproduced for everybody. Alright, so in addition to the amp, we're going to need a few cables. This is our amp up connector, which literally just controls the start button of our panel. This here goes from the Gundam Joysticks to the actual op amp itself, and then lastly, this cable goes from the op amp directly to the Naomi I/O. Alright, so coming off of the op amp here, we've got two cables. We have this one here that kind of routes down here. We have one that goes to your standard Sega style amp up connector that's actually going to plug directly into the cabinet. And then we also have this other little connector here that plugs directly into the Sega I/O. So on my cab, we're going to be kind of showing this on my Konami Windy here. So what we'll do is I actually have an extension cord that I kind of have here to work with my panels. This is literally just an extension cord of the amp up connector that's inside the cabinet. So you normally just take this, you're going to plug in your amp up connector here. Get it to come down here. It's going to be a little tough because I've only got one hand. Trying to do this for you guys. Here we go. So we'll get that plugged in. So you see that kind of pairs up there. And then this cable here is going to go over here onto the Sega I/O. You can kind of see here it clips right here in the top. Once we get that plugged in, kind of push it in. And then this USB goes directly into the Naomi. And then lastly, the JAMA connector is going to go here. So I've got my Naomi set up for 15K. So we'll go ahead and power this on, and then we're going to go into the service mode so I can show you how to calibrate the joystick. Alright, so here we are. We're on the JVS input test, and as you can see here, we've got nice solid numbers here. So what you want to see here is this. So as I move the banana here kind of in a direction, you can kind of see, try to get everything in one shot here, you can kind of see the numbers moving. And what you're looking for is I usually just go up, down, left, right, and then kind of just do like a little bit of movement just to get you full range of motion. This way everything kind of syncs up to what we want it to be. Okay, so once we've got that kind of dialed in and set up where we want it, we can go ahead and exit out back to the game and then kind of see how it plays. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, I've got the volume off just so we don't get any copyright stuff. We can go ahead and move through here, but basically you can go ahead and pick which one you want to do now. So we'll go with the level 1. Basically it's going to go ahead and open it up. And then we can pick which monkey we want to use. We'll go ahead and use II here, regular guy here. And then as it starts, pretty much just like the real legitimate Monkey Ball arcade stuff, you move the banana forward to go forward, tip it left and right, you kind of do your stuff, and then as you get through, you kind of meet your goals. So it plays pretty good. I'm really not that great at the game, but once you kind of get everything set up and installed properly, it actually rolls pretty well. So we can kind of see here as we go. Kind of carefully go get the other bananas. And again, if you have this kind of like leaning on your control panel, it's much easier to kind of get everything rolling. I have my spare blast panel, so it kind of sits external, but it works. It's just a little lighter, so you got to be, it wobbles a little bit more in your lap, but it plays great. All right, here we can see the finalized product. We've got our new panel from Alberto. We've got our Mirko and Zed banana and harnesses, and we also have our Dragon-minded op amp. Everything looks really nice. If you were to put this onto an actual Blast City or other candy cab, I highly doubt anybody would know that this is reproduction stuff and not original from Sega itself. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Stay tuned. Next time we're going to probably talk about my recent acquisition of a pretty unbelievable deal on a dedicated Burger Time arcade game. If you're into this sort of thing, be sure to check out my podcast, Poddukin, on the Laser Time Network. Also, my Twitch stream every Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern at twitch.tv/PastBlaster. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.